Steel wings of the modern battlefield. When the battlefield stretches beyond the horizon and the ground below becomes a maze of danger, two shapes often define the outcome before a single shot is fired. They arrive low and fast, their rotors slicing the air with unmistakable authority. One carries the legacy of American expeditionary warfare, refined through decades of global conflict. The other embodies Russia's vision of armored resilience and battlefield endurance, forged in the shadow of vast land wars. The AH-64E Apache and the Mi-28NM Havoc are not merely attack helicopters, they are flying doctrines. Each reflects the military philosophy, industrial priorities, and historical experience of the nation that built it. One emphasizes networked awareness and precision. The other focuses on survivability, ruggedness, and battlefield presence. These helicopters were born to dominate the space between earth and sky, where speed is limited, danger is constant, and survival depends on awareness, protection, and coordination. Their rivalry is not one of direct confrontation alone, but of ideas, how modern armies see war, technology, and the role of air power in shaping ground combat. To understand them is to understand how two military traditions confront the same problem from different angles, producing machines that look similar in silhouette but differ deeply in spirit. Background and development history. AH-64E Apache, United States. The story of the Apache begins in the aftermath of the Vietnam War. The United States Army emerged from that conflict with hard-earned lessons about vulnerability, coordination, and the limits of existing rotary wing aircraft. Helicopters had proven essential, but they were also exposed. What the Army needed was not just a helicopter with weapons, but a purpose-built aerial combat system designed to survive in high-threat environments. In the 1970s, this requirement became the Advanced Attack Helicopter Program. The goal was clear: a heavily armored, survivable platform capable of operating day or night in poor weather against a sophisticated opponent. After extensive competition, Hughes Helicopter's design was selected, later becoming the AH-64 Apache under McDonnell Douglas and eventually Boeing. The Apache entered service in the mid-1980s as a Cold War weapon intended to counter large armored formations. It was built around redundancy, protection, and sensor integration. Over time, combat experience, from Panama to the Gulf War, Afghanistan, and Iraq, drove continuous upgrades. The AH-64E, originally known as the Apache Guardian, represents the latest evolution. Rather than a new helicopter, it is the culmination of decades of incremental improvement. It incorporates lessons from modern networked warfare, emphasizing connectivity, improved engines, advanced sensors, and the ability to operate as part of a larger digital battlefield. Mi-28NM Havoc, Russia. The Mi-28 traces its origins to a different strategic reality. The Soviet Union envisioned warfare on a continental scale, with vast armored formations and heavily defended front lines. Helicopters were expected to operate close to the battlefield, often under intense fire, and to survive even after taking damage. In the 1970s, the Mil Design Bureau began developing a new attack helicopter to complement and eventually replace earlier gunship concepts. While the Mi-24 Hind combined troop transport and attack roles, the Mi-28 was conceived as a pure attack helicopter, focused entirely on combat effectiveness and survivability. Development was long and complex, interrupted by the collapse of the Soviet Union. Funding shortages and shifting priorities delayed entry into service for years.
Early versions struggled with avionics limitations and operational readiness. The Mi-28NM represents the most advanced and mature form of the design.
Entering service in the late 2010s, it integrates modern sensors, improved night fighting capability, upgraded engines, and revised crew protection. Unlike earlier iterations, the NM variant reflects lessons learned from modern conflicts and attempts to bring the Havoc fully into the digital age. Deep overview of each item. AH-64E Apache. The AH-64E is a twin-engine attack helicopter designed primarily for close air support, armed reconnaissance, and anti-armor operations. It operates with a two-person crew seated in tandem, with the pilot in the rear and the co-pilot/gunner in the front. The helicopter is built around a philosophy of information dominance. Advanced sensors allow it to detect, classify, and track targets at long distances, often before being seen. Modernized engines improve lift and performance, particularly in hot and high environments. The AH-64E's avionics architecture allows it to integrate with unmanned aerial systems, ground units, and other aircraft. This connectivity transforms it from a standalone gunship into a node within a broader combat network. Its strengths lie in situational awareness, adaptability, and continuous modernization. Limitations include high cost, logistical complexity, and reliance on a sophisticated support infrastructure. Mi-28NM Havoc. The Mi-28NM is also a twin-engine attack helicopter with a tandem crew configuration, but its design emphasizes physical survivability and battlefield toughness. The crew is protected by armored cockpits capable of withstanding heavy fire, and critical systems are widely separated to reduce vulnerability. The NM variant introduces a mast-mounted radar and improved electro-optical sensors, enabling all-weather and night operations. Engines are optimized for power and durability, reflecting the expectation of operations in harsh environments. The Havoc's design reflects a belief in resilience, continuing the mission even after damage. Its strengths include armor protection, rugged construction, and simplified maintenance relative to some Western systems. Limitations have historically included avionics sophistication and integration, though the NM variant addresses many of these concerns. Head-to-head comparison. When comparing the Apache and the Havoc, the contrast begins with philosophy. The Apache is designed around information and coordination. Its systems emphasize seeing first, understanding first, and acting as part of a larger force. Performance is optimized through sensors, software, and network integration. The Mi-28NM prioritizes survivability and endurance. It is designed to absorb punishment and continue operating close to the battlefield, even in degraded conditions. In terms of mobility, both helicopters offer comparable speed and maneuverability within the constraints of attack helicopter design. The Apache benefits from refined flight controls and engine upgrades, while the Havoc emphasizes stability and power. Survivability takes different forms. The Apache relies on situational awareness and defensive systems to avoid threats, while the Havoc places heavier emphasis on armor and physical protection. Electronics and sensors are an area where the AH-64E holds an advantage, particularly in integration and data sharing. The Mi-28NM has closed much of the gap, but remains more self-contained in design. Cost and logistics reflect national approaches. The Apache is expensive, but supported by a vast industrial and logistical network. The Havoc is designed to be more self-sufficient, with simpler field maintenance expectations. Operational history. The Apache has seen extensive combat service across multiple continents. Its reputation is shaped by decades of operational use, adaptation, and modernization.
public perception often associates it with precision and technological superiority. The Mi-28's operational history is shorter and more limited, but its use in modern conflicts has provided valuable data. Early criticism focused on reliability and night capability, leading directly to the NM upgrade. Both helicopters continue to evolve based on real-world experience, reflecting the dynamic nature of modern warfare. Global impact. The Apache has been widely exported, becoming a standard among allied nations. Its influence extends beyond hardware, shaping training, doctrine, and interoperability. The Mi-28 has seen fewer exports, but plays a significant role in Russia's military identity. It represents continuity with Soviet design traditions while adapting to modern realities. Each has influenced subsequent designs within their respective defense industries. Which is better for non-combat perspective? From a long-term sustainability standpoint, the Apache benefits from continuous upgrades and a large user base. Training systems and simulators enhance learning and skill retention. The Mi-28NM offers advantages in harsh environments, where ruggedness and simplified maintenance are critical. Its design suits extreme climates and austere conditions. Modernization potential exists for both, though the Apache's digital architecture provides greater flexibility for future upgrades. Conclusion. The AH-64E Apache and the Mi-28NM Havoc are answers to the same question, spoken in different languages. One speaks in data, networks, and precision. The other speaks in armor, endurance, and resilience. Neither is universally superior. Each excels within the context it was designed for, shaped by history, geography, and military culture. Together, they illustrate that technology alone does not define power. Philosophy, experience, and adaptation matter just as much. As long as armies rely on helicopters to bridge the gap between ground and sky, machines like the Apache and the Havoc will continue to define how wars are observed, understood, and ultimately shaped, not by spectacle alone, but by the ideas they carry into the air.